Welcome to the Read-Along Mixtape for Unit 1, Canonical American Literature, where we'll dive into the aspects of several genres to have a better understanding of American literature from our country's inception to present times. The big question of this unit is, what is American literature? Who or what makes literature canon? American literature was shaped by the history of a country that produced it. American literature encompasses poetry, drama, fiction, social, and literary criticism from the early 17th century to the turn of the 21st century. For this unit, we'll be reading excerpts from the Norton Anthology of American Literature, volumes A through E, and the Norton Anthology of Theory and Criticism. Don't know what an anthology is? It's a published collection of poems or other pieces of writing. The same applies for collections of songs or musical compositions. If you're following along on the American Lit Reader, please scroll down to page 3, where we'll read about some of the thinking and work that goes into creating the Norton Anthology of American Literature. From the anthology's inception in 1979, the editors have had three main aims. First, to present a rich and substantial enough variety of works to enable teachers to build courses according to their own vision of American literary history. Thus, teachers are offered more authors and more selections than they will probably use in any one course. Second, to make the anthology self-sufficient by featuring many works in their entirety, along with extensive selections for individual authors. Third, to balance traditional interests with developing critical concerns in a way that follows for the complex, rigorous, and capacious study of American literary traditions. As early as 1979, we anthologized work by the following writers who were not yet a part of the standard canon. Yet we never shortchanged writers, such as Franklin, Emerson, Whitman, Hawthorne, Melville, Dixon, Hemingway, Fitzgerald, and Faulkner, whose work many students expected to read in their American literature courses, and whom most teachers then and now would not think of doing without. As the intro states, you may have heard of or read several of these authors in previous English classes. You may have read other well-known authors such as Harper Lee's To Kill a Mockingbird, J.D. Salinger's The Catcher in the Rye, or John Steinbeck's The Grapes of Wrath. These are some of the most common authors taught in American literature over the last century. Even your parents may have read these texts in high school. Which brings us to the Canon War of 1980 and 1990. We'll dive deeper into an article about the Canon War as we near the 20th century of American literature. But it was basically a period of arguing what writers thought students should be reading versus the way the world was evolving. Let's continue reading and close out this intro. The so-called Canon Wars of the 1980s and 1990s usefully initiated a review of our understanding of American literature. A review that has enlarged the number and diversity of authors now recognized as contributors to the totality of American literature. The traditional writers look different in this expanded content, and they also appear different according to which of their works are selected. Teachers and students remain committed to the idea of the literary, that writers strive to produce artifacts that are both intellectually serious and formally skillful, but believe more than ever that writers should be understood in relation to their cultural and historical situations. We address the complex interrelationships between literature and history in the volume introductions, author headnotes, chronologies, and some of the footnotes. Alright, that was just a little look into the work and thinking that goes into curating an anthology. I hope that was insightful. I'll see you in the next read-along mixtape. Peace.